My learnings from today, where we've had a good session covering compliance, fraud, AML issues, is how important it is to have a 360-degree view of how your customers and how your business operates, looking at the angles of fraud particularly, and how that crosses over with the other areas. So there's been many discussions here about the cost of fraud, the rise of fraud, the impact of fraud within these organisations, and how that's impacting both their customers but also their kind of revenues and brand, but also how it aligns with other needs wider in the business in talking about controlling kind of impacts on mules, on AMLs and processes within the organisation.
So the very first thing that comes to mind is obviously the enterprise-wide risk assessment, covering the sanctions risk specifically, which is the data-driven, very much quantitative exercise where the financial institution would look at all of its customer base, the transactions, the product portfolio, and ultimately come up with a quantitative, data-driven analysis of the pockets of risk, the risk concentration areas, as well as the risky segments of clients to be analyzed in more detail. The purpose of this exercise is ultimately to be able to to drill down to the sources of risk and implement the appropriate mitigating measures and controls to address the issue. And the second area, which is way more operational at the level of let's say, the regular due diligence process, would be digging deeper into the client in terms of the whole value chain to the ultimate client, the end user of the goods that are being traded, to understand whether or not there's an inherent risk in the activity that relates to certain geographies, neighboring countries, of sanctioned countries, etc. And ultimately, the purpose of that would be to obtain sufficient evidence and carry out the analysis to be able to conclude that the risk is manageable and fits within the risk profile, the risk appetite of the financial institution.
New technologies also gives us a way of how to actually become more efficient in decision making, in aggregating data, in eliminating human labor where it's just labor intensive and no actual decision making is happening, and leaving that to machines. But also machines lately are much better, not only in previously labor intensive tasks, but also in judgment based tasks in some cases, and can give you hints on how to act in certain situations, which can save you a lot of investigation and work time, therefore to become more efficient. But obviously, cost of compliance topic will be an ongoing topic on all financial institutions' agenda, and this will be always a management of regulatory expectations versus making a viable business.
So it's been a fun event, interesting, and a wide-ranging subjects that are being discussed, and lots of questions afterwards, which have been really good for the engagement.